responsible mothers to be are taking this into consideration. Once a child is born, the law kicks in immediately to protect that little bundle of joy. Prior to the compulsory registrations, the compulsory immunizations, and before discharge from the prenatal wing, babies are pried and prodded as their little bodies are punched with little needles to get various blood tests. The first poop for a child, which is called meconium, often tells a long story because it will record whatever the mother was ingesting during pregnancy, be it alcohol, be it drugs. And it's that first meconium that leads to state intervention through the Children's Aid Society should there be problems. Unfortunately, not all babies receive a grand entry into this world. Illegal drugs and excessive use of alcohol is even a problem and leads to many painful stories. I was once appointed to represent a newborn baby, which is very rare. This was because I'll call her Baby X. Baby X shook uncontrollably from withdrawal from probably cocaine, and her adoption proceedings were uncontested. Mother had the baby in the hospital and left immediately. She did not leave a history or information regarding the paternal family or the maternal family. So this child was left in the foster care system. The foster mother informed me at the time that he cried relentlessly, and all she could do was hold him and sing to him and make sure that this little person knew that he was loved and that he was cared for. Given the fact that there was no family history, the adoption went through seamlessly. But we also have to remember from this story, which touched me deeply, that it is very difficult to imagine a child entering the world with only the state as the interested party. We all here have a lot to be thankful for because we have families that care. I've also worked with parents who have toddlers, and that is my second story, which touched me deeply because the mother was Ugandan. Toddlers can be messy, they run around, they bump into things, and of course, they have little accidents. And this state is rife with state intervention if a mother is not careful or if parents are not careful. This particular client was a university student. She went to see she called her family doctor because she was going through exams and she was very stressed. And she felt that she needed some help. So when she got to her family doctor's office, the family doctor was away, so a different doctor attended to her. Now, I don't know whether it was because of cultural differences or misinterpretation, but this doctor believed that my client was suicidal, which was really not the case. She was just frustrated because of exams. So by the time she left the doctor's office, Children's Aid had already been dispatched to pick a child from the daycare center, a 2-year-old, and the child was apprehended. Now, this story fortunately ended well because I used all resources that I could at the time to make sure that we provided medical reports, and in 2 weeks the baby was returned to her care. But this is not usually the case. These cases usually take months and sometimes years, with children ending up in foster care. And you have to imagine the trauma, not just to the mother, but to the baby. A baby who's used to a parent, and the parent just disappears, and you don't see them for 2-3 weeks or whatever. So as parents, we have to be very vigilant to make sure that we protect our children from being victimized by the legal system that is supposed to support them. Definitely, there are some cases where intervention of the state is necessary, but there are also many cases where it's not. When children start school, we have observed that you get a lot of calls from the teachers, family members, pediatricians, and this is because it could be for a simple thing as hygiene issues. For example, the child's clothes are dirty, or maybe there's difficult behavior. And these are things that can be worked out very easily if a parent is very communicative with the school and the child does not end up being a victim because the parent is absent. And again, cultural issues are a very big factor when it comes to these disruptions of children. Now, in my observation, conflict touches most families, in the parent, especially in the teenage. During that period, there is a lot of unwelcome state intervention, and parents need to be aware that parenting conflict is one of the biggest factors in the intervention of the state in children's lives. As we manage to deal with these issues without the complications that now arise. Currently, however, my dear church family, we have a bigger problem, and that is social media. Many of us are not very conversant with the phones and whatever apps the kids are looking at. But this is a shifting goalpost, or a goalpost that is totally unavailable to most of us as parents because of our lack of technological know-how. Raising children in this age group, which is the teenage, needs all hands on deck. We have to let go of the system here, which is the nuclear family, and start looking back on the village concept that our parents used, because we have to all be involved. 10 years ago, I attended a conference at St. John Chrysostom Church, which was my home church. Christina, our catechist at the time, informed us that we should be taking our children's telephones from them at night and make sure that they're not on their phones all night, and that we should be providing them back in the morning. At the time, I thought that that was overreach, and I thought that she was exaggerating. And of course, I did not take her observations and recommendations seriously, to my peril. 3 years later, my family was rudely awakened by the effects of unrestricted social media to a teenage child. I found that my daughter was talking to people that I was not aware of, and were really unscrupulous people. It took many years of counseling and a lot of painful experiences to overcome that difficult situation. I'm happy now that my daughter is grounded, but again, I would not wish this on any family. So my dear church family, please do not ignore the plea I make to you today. Unrestricted use of this small device is detrimental to our children. This device is where our children are targeted, they are groomed into all sorts of vices that open the road into the criminal justice system, to be honest. Because whether it is pimps, whether it is drug dealers, whether it's criminals, they no longer have to look for our children in the malls, because they used to shadow them in the malls. They don't do that anymore. What they do now is set up social media apps that look very innocent. So unless you're tech savvy, you may just look at an app and think it's a child's game or something. So you need to look into your children's phones and make sure that whoever they're talking to is really acting in their best interest. Now again, in this, we have to be cognizant of the fact that our Black youth are overrepresented in the criminal justice system when you look at the broader children in the Toronto area. So my plea to you today is not to try to frustrate you as parents, but to make you aware that there is this stuff out there that can easily lead your children into the wrong places. It is our duty as mothers, it's our duties as parents and grandparents to be vigilant and take the necessary steps to protect our precious, vulnerable teenagers. It is our duty to speak to our young ones about the dangers that lurk around them. It is our duty to monitor their phones. This may sound overreach like I reacted 10 years ago, but it is even more important now in this day and age where there is so much more than we really are aware of. Although our legal obligations to our children end when they turn 18, our moral obligations continue. In our African cultures, a child remains a child until, I guess, when God calls us. So I implore our community to be positive role models for the young adults because they are our future. Let us each pass the baton in a responsible manner. Our community, for example, loves to party and use alcohol, and most of us enjoy that. But let us each look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves if the actions we take under the influence of alcohol negatively impact our children in any way. Because we are their role models. We should be role modeling moderate and respectful drinking. Lastly, my dear church family, I'm very thankful for our community and Uganda Matters Church for the role it plays in welcoming and resettling our newcomers as they and their children deal with relocation, new homes, Indian culture, and new laws. And on that, I'm thankful and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, Auntie Regina. Yes, I said one of the activities was discussions, learning, relearning, and learning some of the notions you thought you were aware of or knew of. And now we've been enlightened about at every stage of growth of a child, how the legal system can get involved. So as we go out there parenting, be mindful of that. And you know what? Take on the Ubuntu mindset and take every child in the community to be yours. And I'm hoping the other parents will not mind if you have a word that will be correctional at that time. So the theme, as I had already said, is strength in every story. So parents, you gotta be vigilant and look out to protect our children, as we have today learned that the legal system comes in at every point in the growth path of the child, from infant, toddler, teenager, and in our culture, they never grow, they never live. Even if they are 18, they're still a child. And so at this moment, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Auntie Sarah Sekalala of Sika Foods. Auntie Sarah is tenacious entrepreneur, ambitious, go-getter, yes, and she gets everything done. And so if you haven't tried her Sika Food sauce, you're missing out. Reach out when it comes to networking time and talk to her. And Sarah, you're welcome to come and give us a word on entrepreneurship.
I've been in Canada for the last 24 years. My background, I'm an interior designer, but I love food too. Recently, I've been in different programs and different workshops, cohorts, and everything. And everybody's been asking me, Sarah, can you change? For the first time since I was a child, we had fish and potatoes for lunch on Sunday. That was like, what just happened? And then I found out that later on we had to be divided as siblings to different families, foster homes, and they're relatives, but they're still foster homes in the Canadian setting. And then I found out that as long as in Uganda we call it wegula, I found that one of the things I did best was I would make a good meal and I was assured of a home. If anybody came home, we had, normally in Uganda, as everybody knows, most of the time, we have lots of people in the house. So it could be like maybe about 10 or even more people in the house. And so anytime if you did misbehave, you could be taken somewhere else. What I found out every time when we could come home and I had my token done very well, I was assured of a home. So to me, food is safety. To me, food is connection, and to me, food is buying that loyalty. So that's really kind of my story. So I love cooking, and as you're going to enjoy Sika Food's dinner, that's about connection. So I want you to eat as whatever you're eating, just connect with me, and that's love. But that's not why I'm here. Entrepreneurship. Having said that story about how we lost our dad a long time ago and put in different homes, I think what we need to really work on really hard, especially when we come here, is to really start to create areas where we can have generational wealth. We really need to do that. When we come to Canada, depending on where you come from, where you start off with. If you start in a home where people are talking about entrepreneurship, you're probably going to be doing it as well. But I'm pretty sure most of us in here, we have that thing where you want to do something on the side. To me, that's entrepreneurship. If you feel like you could do whatever you can just to bring in that extra income. But what I've found out as I'm going in different groups and different organizations and working through with different programs, I found that these people really are working towards not only having a job, but having that business, a little thing of somewhere here to really bring in that extra income. My encouragement. I know a lot of resources. I have been able to grow my business to a certain level, but I think if we really can come together, and if you don't shy away from not doing it on your laptop alone, but really find somebody you can talk with, working on a business plan, talking to everybody you can know, or you can, tapping into any kind of resources. We need to break out from the Chikobo style of business back at home. When we have a saying in Africa that when you go eat dogs, you eat dogs. What I found here is that people really go out there, and if you've noticed, they're always, who could be seeing 100 people here today if it was a different organization? We need to be coming together and talk about the things and tap into each other's knowledge. We all have something in us that can take us to another level. When I left Uganda, those 20-something years ago, I had 3 goals. One was to have a degree. I've attained that. I wanted to give my children different opportunities and be here to really, they are mostly here, we have a lot of opportunities. I've given them that. And the third one was to build an empire. I'm trying to build an empire. It's not easy in Canada. But what I've learned is you have to be disciplined. You have to be resilient. My brother there, Stanley, can tell you, I was working on that meal for some days, preparing it, but on top of that, doing other things. You need to be resilient. And yes, things sometimes, they don't work out the way we think they should. But then, you just have to have the bigger vision. As long as you know, it doesn't matter whether we attain that big vision or not, just have that vision. It will keep you going. It will keep you pushing. Personally, I feel like every time I share information I have or anything I know, my business grows. So I'm here, take my number, I'll share whatever I know. But I think as women, not only are we the mother of the nation, but I think we are the only people who can really boost our community, Ugandan community especially. We can build those big businesses more. I think women will have a different thing in us. We have the intuition of what really can work. We have the vision. Like sometimes I look around and people around me are panicking. I'm like, you do not see it. I see it. And it doesn't matter whether it happens or not, like I said before, but what matters is enjoy it now. I was in the kitchen as someone told me, Sarah, how can you be, I'm going to be 57 in this March, 23rd. But I don't want to feel those years because I feel like I can build this business to the next level. It doesn't matter. Age is just a number. But we can do a lot with ourselves. We can build this community. I've done everything. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I even did Uber. And one time, as I was driving somebody, he asked me, where do Ugandans live? I've heard about Ethiopians, I've seen the Jews. Why are the Ugandans? I'm leaving that question for you guys. Where are we? Where are we? Because we are many of us. But what I've found out, if a Ugandan knows you live over there, they will go 20 miles away from you. We can do it. We can start trusting each other. We really can. How much time do I have? 2 minutes. Yeah, we can do this. I know, like, I normally say that if a snake bit you at some point, you see a rope, you jump. I see ropes here, nobody is going to bite anybody. We can work together. We are Ugandans. I feel like, especially the young generation which has come in, there's potential. Some of us is still, but there's potential in the young ones. But if we have entrepreneurs here. If we can have a hand of many entrepreneurs here, please just put your hands up. Because I've seen Esther over there, Jackie. So we need to grow that number. There you go. We can, and the other thing we need to do is those who already have businesses.
Aren't we all pumped? I feel like right now I know something about children and the legal system. I feel like there's an element of entrepreneurship in all of us. Something that takes, that triggers, that now, as Auntie Sarah says, go for it. That thing you call a side hustle could take you places. So tap into the many resources that are available. She's available, she's encountered, she's traveled the journey, and she knows there are banks out there that look out for black businesses, black entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs. If you're, let's say, between the ages of 19 and 34, there is Futurepreneur that looks out for young. We all have a story to tell. And so, when we come next year to celebrate International Women's Day, networking is very important in the entrepreneurship sphere. The resources are out there. If you don't ask, you won't know. When we see Zoom meetings being circulated on the most WhatsApp groups that we're on, and we don't tap into them, we will not know. So be ambitious, open-minded, learn, tap onto that Zoom meeting. You never know. We're learning, and every day make it a point to learn something new that will take you a step higher. And maybe, who knows, it might change the trajectory of your career. And you say, hey, I think I have a passion in that line. And so on that note, I'd like to invite our next presenter and speaker and sponsor for today's event, Afro-Canadian Center for Women and Families. And, before I call you on, since we're in the mood of celebrating, let's celebrate Auntie Sarah, because she won't be here when she turns 57. Age is just a number. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Auntie Sarah. Happy birthday to you.
My name is Lydia Namgenye, Executive Director and Founder of Afro-Canadian Center for Women and Families. I'm a mother, a wife, a business, and a career woman. Why did I thought about this? I passed through many challenges. Then I sat down and I was like, okay, many people are passing through the same challenge I passed through. But some things are simple. Some things, we have poor communications in marriage. Okay? So, I was like, what should I do to improve on my fellow women? I sat down. I have a very determined and encouraging man and supported me. Then I was like, because he knows that I love women, I love children, I love families. Then he was like, you know what, Lydia, you have passion. Your passion is this and this. So I was like, okay, let's start this and this. Raising children in this community, in this country, as a black woman, it's not easy. Remember, we just migrated from Africa and we came here. We have to adopt every norm and values of the country. So there is something I passed through. I thank Angela was there for me. I thank some friends of mine were there for me. So when I went through that situation, I was like, oh man, it means that many women are passing and have challenges like I do. I sat down, thank God everything was recovered. But why African Center for Women and Families is here? We have our mission. Our mission is to bring families together. And our goal is to create and promote a safe environment. Dear men and women, we can do this. We can bring together our families. Because let me tell you, raising children here, it's not easy single-handedly. It's not easy. Is there any situation in your marriage you are passing through? Is there anything we can talk about so that we bring families together? Please don't hesitate. Call us. Call me. I'm here for you, women. I'm here for you. And another thing, I would like to say something. Someone calls you, hello, is this Mrs. Lydia? Yes, this is Mrs. Lydia. How can I help you? I'm passing through this and this. My man left me alone in the house. I have children. We built, we worked together. And this guy, when he got money, lost me. So I'm so depressed. I'm mentally perturbed. My children, we are here for you. We are here for you. We do lots of services. What are the services we provide? We do domestic violence support services. We do social economic empowerment. We do parenting support services. We do mental health and addiction services. We do lots of services. Remember, this is a non-profit organization. We don't charge, but we are there for you. Newcomers, please come. We shall provide you letters. We shall do each and everything because this country is not an easy country. Okay? Don't hesitate. I want to see ladies, when they are empowered, we can do it. We can make it. If men can, we can also make it. If I made it, you can also make it. Happy International Women's Day. I love you so much. Take care of yourself. And let's trust in God. Amen.
Thank you, everyone. So good to see you all. Thank you for coming. And happy International Women's Day. It's our day. So thank you for coming to celebrate. So as we celebrate tonight, we also need to remember to be healthy. So on that note, I am going to talk about screening, cancer screening. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know me, sorry, I should have introduced myself. I shouldn't assume everyone knows me. My name is Tracy Wanyama. I'm a physician assistant by profession. I work in primary care with a family doctor. We are based in Scarborough. So, as part of my job every day, I see people coming in with different things over and over again. But part of our responsibility is to make sure that people screen for cancer. There are some cancers that we know, if caught early, we can cure them. But if they are caught late, we can't do anything except to support the patient. So as we celebrate tonight, International Women's Day, it's important to remind you of these cancers so that we all watch out for them, so that we can all keep healthy. So I didn't want to bore you much. So I looked out for a small video. It's a small clip, I promise it's less than 5 minutes, that I'm going to play that will summarize everything. And then we will open it up. So, thank you. Amanya Peter Tracy Tekla Wanyama. I'm the co-chair of Uganda Matters, United Church of Canada. This is our day. In the church we are celebrating the International Women's Day. I would like to shout out all the women out there. Cheers and happy Women's Day. Guno mukolo organizing by the Women's Ministry of Uganda Matters and omukyala agukulira bamuyita Gerardine Kulazikolabe. That lady is a very strong-willed lady, and she has brought this to a different level. It's an annual event. Buli mwaka tubeera wano tusanyukira wano. Era guno mwaka ndowooza endongo mugiwulira mu background. We are having fun. It's a nice evening.
Okay.
So abasubiddwa this year, please watch out next year. We will be here. All the women of the Ugandan community in Canada, of Uganda Matters Church, of the greater Ugandan community, and all the women internationally, tubebaza for being who you are. Remember, as women, we have to lift ourselves up. It's us who are going to make ourselves succeed or fail ourselves. We are in this era where you cannot rely on anyone, especially when women are in all careers. Think of any career. But wherever Uganda, most of the time there were some jobs for men and some jobs for women. Women were always feminine. But in this part of the world, a woman is in everything. We have to be flexible. What is important is to make a living, and to make a good living, obviously. So I shout out to abakyala bonna. I know when we tujja nga tuvudde Uganda, we struggle a lot. We struggle a lot to settle down. And oluusi twekubagiza, oluusi tubeera nga we are not sure of what we want. But I'm encouraging you all to just step out of the box. Just to step out of the box and then look, laba ki ekiriwo, and run with it. Be open-minded, be patient, and be focused. You will succeed. This is a world of opportunities. Bagamba and Ontario is yours to discover. So it's up to you to discover what you want to discover. You can make everything out in this country, in this province. The sky is the limit, but you just need to be focused. So, all the women and all the men who care and love and protect women, we shout out to you. Happy Women's Day. Again, we are at Uganda Matters United Church of Canada.
Sangibwawa.
Amanya.
Sangibwawa Church.
Church eriku Weston Road.
2799
Weston Road. And major intersection is Weston and Albion Road.
Okay.
And our service starts at 4 p.m. Every Sunday. Okay, you are all welcome. Drop by when you can. This is a community church. This is a destination church. It's a place where all Ugandans come, and friends of Uganda. We come to worship, and we come to meet other Ugandans, and we come to make connections. So drop by when you can. Thank you.
Balamusisa basebo ne banyabo, erinnya lyange nze Naweli Nakafero Sebugime, Senkulu wa Kabaka Foundation Canada. Tutwala omukisa guno okuyozaayoza abakyala okutuuka ku lunaku lwaffe olw'abakyala. Mbayozaayoza era mukulike nnyo, mukulikire ddala. Okusookera ddala nziramu okwebaza abakyala abo bonna basobodde okukuuma ennono zaffe ez'Obuganda ate n'enga Uganda empisa yaffe okutwaliza awamu. Kyenyinza okukubiriza abakyala bannange naddala abalina abaana betuzaalidde wano eno, tutwale omukisa guno tukuze abaana baffe mu mpisa mu nnono zaffe nga bwe batukuzaamu, tutendeke eggwanga ery'enkya. Tusobole okuba nga omwana ne bw'oba toliiwo asobola okuyimirira nga tasudde ennono ze, kubanga gwe leero wooli naye enkya toliiwo. Naye kiki omutaddemu? Tulaba ennyo bannaffe amawanga amalala ng'abaana baabwe babakuliza mu nnono. Bino ebira byonna tubiyiga bwe tuba tetubayigiriza nnono zaffe eza culture yaffe ng'Abaganda, ng'abava e Uganda, n'okutwaliza wamu ng'abantu ffenna abava mu Uganda. Kimanyi twakuzibwa bulungi abantu abava e Uganda. Bwe tutabayigiriza empisa zaffe ennungi ezatukulizibwamu e Uganda, bajja kukoppa bino ebya wano bye baasanga wano, kubanga bajja tandika okubyegomba. So nno kiba kirungi omwana n'omukuliza mu lulimi lwe n'akula, kubanga luno Oluzungu bajja genda balusome ku ssomero era baluyige nga naffe bwe twaluyigira ku ssomero, naye nga wakatwogera ennimi zaffe n'obatendeka naddala empisa ez'obuntu, obuntu bulamu obwo, kubanga omuntu abanga alina obuntu bulamu ate nga yeesiga Omukama Katonda, si kiwambu asobola okugenda okukola ebintu ebimuweebuula. Era nnyongera okuyozayoza abo bonna abakyala bagezezzaako mu ngeri emu oba eri mu ndala n'abaami baffe, kubanga musobola okukuza abaana mu mpisa zaffe ezatukuzibwamu ewaka e Uganda. Tegeeza bannyinaffe baganda baffe ffenna abantu abawangalira wano e Canada mu North America nti tulina omukisa nti Oweekitiibwa Esther Muyinda awamu ne Mwami Lubuulwa Mark akulira Luganda Academy wano e Canada, tulina ekibiina oba olusomo lw'abayizi baffe okuva ku baana abato ng'asobola okwogera ku myaka nga 3 n'okudda ku mukulu asembayo, kubanga ffenna okuyiga tekukoma. Tulina olusomo lukyali ku Zoom buli Sande okuva ku ssaawa 9 paka ssaawa 10. Ebeera y'abaana bato babawulamu mu bibiina ebyenjawulo okusinziira buli omu obumanyi bwe bwamanyiko. Then okuva ku ssaawa 10 paka 11 ne kubeerako ezaffe abakulu. Era tulina omukisa mbu abaana baffe bangi bajjumbidde nnyo okusoma omwo mwe tusomeseza okwogera olulimi Oluganda. Tutandikira ku mannya gaffe, abaana ne bayiga okwogera amannya gaabwe bulungi ag'ebika g'abazadde gaabwe, ebika bye tuvaamu n'ennono zaffe ez'obuwangwa. Abadde omubuzzaako nga bw'ogamba bazadde abaana abalongo, kyemmanyi bwe babazaalira wano eno, bw'ozaala abaana bulungi Mukama ng'obatwala nga obawongayo mu kkanisa mu ekereziya yonna gy'osabira nga babasabira nga batandika okukola ki okweyongerayo mu maaso. Ate ekyomwenkanonkano kyogambye shifuti naaba afuluma onayingira ebulaya kyetaaga kuba nga mukwatagana omwami n'omukyala, kasita muba nga mukwatagana nganze nga mu bulamu bwanguwa yakuteesaganya nkuyambako n'omanya nze bwema nfuluma ogendagenda ng'ozireko abaana ate nze ngende, oba bwema nsigadde waka nja kusigala nga nkola kino. Kwegamba buli omu alina bw'addukanyamu amaka ge, kubanga ebikole wange biyinza obutakolawo, naye nga kasaba nga waliwo empuliziganya, communication n'okutegeeragana, buli kimu nze ngamba kiba kisoboka era nga kyanguwa okutuukako nga bwoba okyetaaze. Nga naddala ennono zaffe nga ekitiibwa ekyo okuwa ekitiibwa munno, okuwangana ekitiibwa.
Okay mama, tetujja kugamba nti obugambo bw'obusembayo, kubanga omuntu ekigambo obugambo bw'obusembayo omuntu aba agenda kuzikirira. Obugambo bw'obuwoomu omuntu bw'asaanye okuba oba akatalekeka eri abakyala aba mu nsi yonna, kozi tuli ku mikutu ensi wali wano atulaba, ali Uganda atulaba ng'abakyala. Kagambo kyakatalekeka kuwandiwadde ow'abakyala, naddala abakyala abali e Uganda, abali mu Amerika, abali e Kenya, abali ddawa ng'awulira olulimi Oluganda.
Abakyala bannange nziramu okubayozayoza nate ku luno olunaku, nyongera okubakubiriza obutaggwamu maanyi. Kyoli kyekyo kyoli, nange kyendi kyekyo kyendi, naye tulina kwegatta ne tuba nga twewagira okusobola okugenda mu maaso n'okusobola okuba nga tukuza abaana baffe oba abantu bonna betulinako obuvunaanyizibwa mu mpisa n'obwetowaaze temukoowa temuggwaamu maanyi yemmwe bannakazadde b'eggwanga yemmwe abafuga ensi eno era nga kimanyi bonna omutiti gwe muleeta leero gwe gugenda okuba nga tusobola okuyimirizaawo eneyo gye tuwangaalira n'olwekyo nsaba mugende mu maaso nga mwekulaakulanya mu ngeri emu oba mu eri ndala ate nga twewagira n'okuba nga tukwatira wamu ng'abazadde nga abakyala okuba nga tutuuka ku biruubirirwa byaffe. N'ekirala mbajjukiza nga Kabaka Foundation Canada tulina olukuŋŋaana olusiisira lwaffe olw'okugaba omusaayi ne plasma ennaku z'omwezi nga 10 Ogwokutaano 2025 tubayita era tubakoowoola tusaba mujje mutwegatteko. Twafuna omukisa nga tulina enkolagana ne Canadian Blood Services nsaba mwenna mujje tusobole okuba nga tukwataganyiza wamu n'ebisingawaawo tujja okwongera okuba nga tubibategeeza. Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala. Ssaabasajja Kabaka awandaale.
Amina.
Amannya gange Bankita Geraldine, ndi mukyala mufumbo ate era nze omukyala akiikirira abakyala mu minisitule y'abakyala wano. Kaakati olwaleero tubadde nga tujaguza olunaku lw'abakyala mu nsi yonna olubeerawo mu mwezi Ogwokusatu nga 8. Olunaku luno lutugatta nga ffe abakyala, lubadde lulungi nnyo. Abakyala bazze n'abaami abasobodde bazze era ne twegatta wamu ffenna ne tusanyuka, ffenna ne tusanyukira abakyala. Era obubaka bwempa abakyala abajja mu nsi yaffe eno eya Canada ngamba kuutira oba nga mbasaba nti mujjumbire ebintu nga bino. Ebintu nga bino ebibeeramu abakyala mulimu ebyokuyiga bingi nnyo. Kati ng'olwaleero abakyala tuyize bingi. Wabaddewo omukyala abadde ayogera ku children in the legal system. Tuli bakyala, tuli bamaama, tuli bazadde, tulina abaana. Kati ebyo byonna bibadde bitukwatako. Waliwo omukyala ayogedde ku entrepreneurship n'atubuulira nga bwe yatandika ne watuuse. Nakyera kitukwatako ng'abakyala abaagala okukolayo akalimu akalala akatono akamulekera ssente okuva ku munene gw'alina. Ne wabeerawo n'omukyala era omulala ayogedde era ku entrepreneurship. Tunayogera ku organisation ye gyatandiseewo era nga nayo egenda kuyamba abakyala n'abaana. Ne wabeerawo n'omukyala musawo naye atubuulidde ku health. Kati nga ebyo byonna nga ffe abakyala bituyamba okuyiga.
Bubaka ki bw'owa abakyala eri abakyala bonna mu nsi yonna, ng'omukyala nakazadde, ng'omukyala alabye ebintu, ng'omukyala omukozi, ng'omukyala atikkiriranya, ng'omukyala atanafuwa, ng'omukyala atemalamu maanyi? Bubaka ki bw'oyinza okuwaayo abakyala abalala, bakyala banna abali mu nsi endala abaliriddawa obubampawalinga ku lunaku nga luno?
Kwegamba obubaka bwe nnina okubawa abakyala okuba nga mwewuliriramu nga mmwe abakyala, mwekkiririzaamu nga mmwe abakyala. Toggwamu maanyi nga ggwe omukyala, kubanga era omukyala ye nnakazadde w'eggwanga. Toggwamu maanyi nga ggwe omukyala. Ate era gezaako okuyiga nga oyigira ku bantu abalala. Ebyokuyiga bingi nnyo ng'oyigira ku bantu abalala. Toggwamu maanyi. Bw'olabanga ng'oweddemu amaanyi, beerako ne gwoyogerako naye. Sigamba nti omubuulire ebizibu bye naye, okwogera obwogezi naye nakyo kiba kikuzaamu amaanyi nti toli lwonyene ng'omukyala.
Olinayo akaterekeka maama?
Kaakati akaterekeka ke kano nti guno gubadde mwaka gwa 2 wano ku Uganda Matters Church eye Canada nga celebratinga nga tukuza International Women's Day era tujja kubeeranga nayo buli mwaka wano wennyini ejja kubeeranga olwa 6 bwe tugamba nti omwezi ogwokusatu nga 8 lutuuse nga lwa 2 ffe era tujja kubeeranga wano lwa 6 kati olwali tukwatidde omukisa nti lubadde nga 8 olunaku lwaffe lw'abakyala ate nga lwa 6 kati era tujja kubeeranga wano buli mwaka era nga tusuubira tebali nnyo mujja kutulegattako abakyala.
Amin. Toyanza nyuma Mukama tukuumire.
Amanya gange bampita Namugenyi Lydia, Executive Director of African Center for Women and Families, tuli wano Canada. African Center for Women and Families kitegeeza ki? Kitegeeza nti ekitongole it's a non-profit organization eyaze okuyamba ku bakyala abakyala abo abali mentally ill abakyala abo abatalina social and economic empowerment abakyala abo abali depressed abakyala abo abayita mu bintu bingi nnyo. Omanyi nti si kyangu okukuza omwana wano Canada. Okimanyi kino divorce rates ziri high in Canada. Okimanyi kino tulina ebintu bingi nnyo ngaffe abaddugavu black communities bye tufeesinga. Okimanyi tina abaana baffe bayonoonese bagenze mu addiction bagenze mu biragalalagala ebitategerekeka. Olowooza ku lwaki? Ekireese ekyo lwaki? Ekireese ekyo kubanga abazadde abamu bakuza abaana abali sengo. Abasajja mulese obuvunaanyizibwa bwammwe ne mubawa abakazi. N'abakazi bambi balina okugenda mu shifts okukola wadde njogedde ku bakazi naye n'abakazi nammwe mulinamu ebintu byammwe ne mukola ekintu omusajja ne mumulekera omwana. Okimanyi kino child support wano Canada yeekola. Omuntu yenna wonodduka ku mukwano gwo onoomugamba munange nina ekizibu kino mu bufumbo ajja kugamba muteeke mu child support. That's not the only solution. Mujjeffe fenga Afro Canadian Center for Women and Families wane Canada wetuli okubayamba tukola ebintu bingi nnyo. Tukola to providing a newcomer support services, tukola financial economic empowerment, tukola divorce support services, tukola ebintu
muyambako omuntu okudivoicinga.
Nedda waliwo abantu abafeesinga domestic violence. Kati ebyo bya divorce ebyo tubikolako. Mission yaffe tugatta abantu wamu. Abantu wamu balina okubeera wamu. Mission yaffe is to bringing families together. Abantu tulina okubeera omumama omwana ne taata nga ffenna tuli wamu. Ate goals zaffe it's to create a safe and a powerful environment in the black community.
Ekitongole kyammwe kisangibwawo?
Ekitongole kyaffe kisangibwa Scarborough. Era watwetaaze osobola okgenda ku YouTube channel zaffe, ku TikTok zaffe, ku Facebook zaffe, Twitter, Instagram n'ebirala.
Mulina website?
Tulina website era yonna egenda kubeerawo wansi website yaffe. Atwetaaze tunoonyeeko.
Tulina enamba tuyinza okukubako kubanga abantu bangi bali disappointed bali time where bali olusi bali mu shelters abamu olusi jasoberwa abamu basobola okujja eno nga omuntu asobola okujja Canada ngo abadde ne trauma y'omwami waka Uganda n'atuuka eno oluusi nabanga tannafuna bulungi watereera n'alaba adduse bizibu ate kati embeera tagitegeera kugenda mu drugs kugenda mu depression kakana oluusi abadde avuga emmotoka atomed kwega tategeera obulamu waliwo otuuka nga obulamu tobutegeera. So omuntu nga yeetaaga okubuulirirwa bw'aba tagenze ku TikTok waliwo enamba zayinza okukubako nagamba sisobodde kujja ku kitono naye kakube nkuyitiremu ebizibu.
Tuyita guidelines asobola okubako tulina 647 702 2922 647 702 2922 oba 437 288 9862 fenna gwokubira ajja kukwata kubanga tukola counseling, tukola drug recovery, addiction recovery support services, tukola mental health support services, tukola ebintu bingi nnyo, tukola parenting support services. Waliwo abazadde abaleka abaana mu nyumba kati balina gwe balekera naye tulina bwe bavolontiya asobola okubeerako n'omwana wo gyoba ogenze
kwegano ne volontiya asobola okujja naganja kukola bwa volontiya ku mwana wo.
Yes, asobola okujja kasitwaba nga tumusipriniza bulungi nnyo tumutegedde alina pamiti ye buli kimu tumuwa omuzadde tugamba gundi kakubeererekawo oddukeko wano ogende okola ebintu ate n'ekirala ekitali ekyo bannange newcomers abazze tukola newcomer support services bonna mwenna mujje tubawa amabaluwa. Our organization is registered. Remember, it's a non-profit organization. Tekijjako ssente
byabwerere kati
byabwerere.
kuminizde nga luno olunaku lw'abakyala tuli wano ku Uganda Matters. Ani ate Uganda Matters etegese?
Yeah, Uganda Matters yetegese.
Yeah. So tubadde twagalayo obugambo nga kamu bubiri eri abaana bawala abava e Uganda ng'oli azze n'ennyashi alina nnyashi ye azze e Canada nga yamanyi nti ennyashi ajja kubigula afune essimu ng'e Uganda bumanyi sijja kisiba ku Uganda naye Uganda ekiri nga yagamba nti my freedom fighters my body ye my freedom. So ye alina nnyashi alina ebbeere alina dimpo ye nga amanyi bwe ntuuka e Canada bajja kunjayanira sinagago bashiftinga nina nnyashi obugambo bwo abaana ddala abaana abawala abatuuka abatuuka ye nga agamba sinagago bashifti nze ndi mulungi kyaggwa.
Abaana abawala abakatuuka
balina n'eŋŋombo sole bagamba mbu woomosirike.
abaana abawala abakatuuka. That's why nze nanze Lydia Namugeni navuddeyo ndi maama ndi mukyala mufumbo ndi business and career woman. Buli kimu nkikola buli kimu nkirabyeko. Abaana abawala tino nnyashi nti obulungi munange obulungi bufeedinga weweemu emyaka 3 e Canada fenna tetwaliwe tuti emyaka 3 e Canada bonna bugenda
ate oba tewali bwoti ng'odda bw'oyaka
munange ffe wano e Canada tukompitinga n'abasajja.
Katonda wange
Abasajja bakola naffe noowe n'okola. Tewali musajja gw'ogenda funa providing e Canada 100%. Nawe oleetayo 50 n'oli n'aleeta 50 waba taleese 50 kale gweosobola okuleeta 30 ye n'aleeta ki 70 okitegeera naye obwo obulungi bufendi nga bugenda bajja bakozesa. That's why nze nataddewo kino ekitongole mujje twogere mujje tupromoting empowerment mu baana abawala mu bakyala mu bayuuthi buli omu ajje wange twogere naye ng'ebyo ebyokugamba kino ngenda kukolesa beauty wano Canada tebiriiwo ekyo akuyambye ajja kukozesaayo emyezi 3 akuleke bwe kikugasa ki nga buli omu ategedde in and out yo olowooza ogenda kubeera n'ekitiibwa mu community. Remember abaami bw'obeera naye yagenda n'agamba omulala n'omulala n'agamba
ate tulinamu ku lugambo
tulinamu ku lugambo kati mukwano baawaawo nze nzize kupromotinga mwana muwala njagala omwana omuwala ng'alina ekyaka njagala omwana omuwala ng'agamba eyo benzi ngisobola ya mitwalo emeka 8 nange ngisobola njagala omwana omulala agambe kino gundi yazimba flat nange ngisobola
nga tadipendingira ku musajja
nga nawe kenyini bw'oyogera nawe oteesa omwami bw'ayogera ng'atiisa ate mukimanyi nti abasajja bano wetubeera financially stable wetubeera nga tuli strong wetubeera nga tuli hard working wetubeera nga tulina IQ okimanyi batutya
atya n'okwongerako
abasajja bajja bokka ako nno kamakemba gambye mukole abasajja mugenda balaba around you n'ow'amaanyi ajja kukka kubanga amanyi Lydia can provide.
Abasajja temwatulowoozaako
abasajja mubaveeko
mukolese
naye nga find a good and a nice partner kubanga raising kids here in Canada it's not easy as a single mother. Raising kids here in the black community, it's not easy. So, omuntu w'omufunye mukwatagana. Waliwo omuntu obutono mu marriage obuyinza obbakyankalanya. osobola okunkubira essimu ne tukwogerako. Omusajja akugambye leetako hafu ya rent toyagala, kikukyankalaniza kubanga wonoogamba mukwano gwagambe is useless. Mukwano tali useless. Obwo obuntu puwa communication mu bufumbo buleesa ebintu bingi. Kati nno woba owulira ng'oli overwhelmed, owulira ng'oli stressed, ng'oli depressed, ng'olina buli kimu kwegabaga your life is at stake, call me, I'll be there for you. That's why I introduced Afro-Canadian Center for Women and Families. Mission is to get the family together. Goal is to create and promote a safe environment within a Black community. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless.